Welcome back. It's time for FaZe versus Envy. And now it's time for the hype train. If we could take a look at the leaderboard, we can see that if my mathematics are correct, if Envy win all their matches, they will get 18 points, which will put them tied with FaZe, right? And assuming, well, let's leave NIP out of this for a minute. Envy will be on 27 points, and because they will have beaten FaZe in a head-to-head, they will be above them in the table, which means that Envy could qualify for LAN. This is a thing. This is a possibility. In the next 6 games, Envy could go from being dead last to.
If you buy a lottery ticket, you can win the lottery.
To LAN. That's also true,
But James, they're going to lose the very first map, and then then it's going to be over.
Yeah.
Envy are going to LAN, mate. They're going to London. They're going to Nando's. I don't know what you're talking about, and I can't believe that you don't believe.
They could still go to Nando's and win FACEIT points in the audience if they want to watch. They're still invited.
So there's a fight to get to LAN. There's also a fight to not be relegated, which maybe is. I mean, they still need what, 12, 15, 18. I don't know about the head-to-head with Gambit. So let's say they need 4 wins. They need to win. They need to win a lot of matches, basically. They just got relegated from the Germans League. They don't have the. They're not mentally motivated. They need drastic changes. I don't know what changes they are. So Kishima's tweeted things along the lines of, you know, we're doing our best and it's just not working. We need drastic changes. I don't know what the solution is for Envy, but once the leagues have come to their seasonal conclusion, perhaps there will be a shuffle. We know that Existence, Shocks, and Smiths are likely to be making a team. They still need 2 more players. I would like to see the likes of RPK on a team like that. Although there was the anime betrayal of Existence with his previous roster and some issues with RPK, but I'm sure they can forgive for the sake of business. I don't know. But obviously, and that wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing for Envy, because almost like when Nico left Mousesports, right? He wasn't the right fit as good as he was. Maybe the same is for Envy. Maybe RPK goes to the likes of the Existence team, and then the French find something else that will be a solution for them. I don't know. I don't know what they need to change.
RPK Kiyoshima will be good. I think Kiyoshima is can be very good. But I think it was Kiyoshima that said you can have great players, but if there's no chemistry, there's no chemistry.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactement.
And I feel like Kiyoshima is very underrated, honestly. I think he's a very intelligent player.
Well, we've seen how good he was. Yeah. I mean, the old FaZe lineup that he was on was actually really good. It was surprising when him and Alu got taken off the roster. It wasn't surprising when you saw the players that were replacing them, but at the same time, it was you're almost splitting hairs in some sense. The results were still very good, and they had a strong lineup overall.
I feel like of all the French players I'm thinking of, I think like he deserves a good chance again. It would be pretty awesome to see. And it's obviously deserving is, you know, if you can say who deserves this or that, it doesn't really matter. But I think that he has the ability to do something very cool. And also I think that it'd be, again, like we've seen from many players, you know, shuffling around rosters, there's so much precedent that if you're just in the right system, you can just reinvent your career completely and your identity for the better. So either way.
Armanek and Dever Dudek replaced Maniac on LDLC and someone else, and Maniac's gone into retirement. So goodbye to him. I forgot what he studied. He has some qualifications in something or other.
Psychology, I think it was.
Psychology.
I think it was psychology.
Yeah.
Well then, Kishima off to a good start. Bomb has not been spotted yet for the CT side. We see Guardian has a very forward position on B, which means FaZe can focus on A.
This is the best angle to hold from. It's slightly off angle. Oh, that's so crazy. I stand at the exact same spot. Just slightly off to the left.
And he wants more though. He wants the action. He's not about waiting for it.
This is yeah, he clearly has some kind of tip that they might have pushed. I think he was totally ready and prepared for them to do it. Assume he's gonna clear this. Ooh. Guardian's too tricky, man.
Oh, 2 bullets, 2 kills.
But it's pulled them away from the A, so maybe they could plant the bomb, but they need to stop pushing. Go! What are you waiting for? Go, 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 go! Get through the choke points, get the bomb down, get worst case scenario ticked off. And there it is, Happy taken down in the meantime. This is doable now for Envy.
This is a really good spot, actually. Kishima's on the USP. Does get taken down. Hachi. We see some great stuff from him. and he won't be able to make it work there. But they got the bomb down, and that's really... That's security. That's security. It means that you can absolutely keep the pressure on the CT economy, and unless you have an awful buy round on the third round, like, you have a very good opportunity to keep the pressure on the CTs and not let them run away with anything.
I'm actually going to tweet a question to Guardian, which hopefully he answers after the match, not during. And the question is going to be Is it Faze Guardian?
Is it about the pistol that he chooses?
Why are you jumping the gun then? How dare you? Just because it's your birthday, I think you're getting Larry. How old are you now, Dan?
It's not really...
How old are you, Dan?
It's your birthday?
It's his birthday. How old is Dan today?
Is it?
How old is he?
Could be.
It is.
His birthday.
It is. But how old is he? That's the question. 20... 20... 30, bitch!
Oh my god.
Nice.
How old are you, James?
Envyus.
I'm an absolute gangster. Doesn't matter how old I am.
On the bomb plant. Wow. So Envyus obviously going for the 4-buy as opposed to the save and then the AK buy in the third round. And they've actually got the bomb down. So surprise buy working out so far. Because even if they lose this round, they'll get a huge amount of damage. And the next round will be even stronger for them against Faze. Carrigan making his way around the forklift, able to do some additional damage. Some great damage, actually. Rain also getting in there, but it's not going to work out for Faze. The surprise buy has worked. And Envyus. I think this is a great map for them overall. So we'll see if they can convert here.
French team's on cash.
I'm glad you're starting to see the light, Launders. French teams on cash. Even Envy. Even Envy.
I mean, one thing about Envy on cash, Happy was one of the first innovators on this map. He created a lot of, he made a lot of firsts as far as T-side strategies went and tactics. Again, doesn't account for what seems to be awful chemistry in the team, but you know, from a we know that they know how to play the game, the map, but not the game and the map game. So Envyus will be able to deal pretty well with the atrocious buy of Faze.
So my question to Guardian was, how are you liking cash now that you get to play it?
Oh.
He's had enough time to learn the map and some of the nuances at least. Enough of them. Just wait for that reload. You could see he pressed R as well. He had 2 minutes left, so R was selected. So let's see what Guardian says later on. That's a nice shot from Nico. Very nice indeed, but what else can he do? The bomb is like, nope, Nico's on A, let's go to B. No messing around, no nonsense. With his mouse sport sticker.
I really thought you were going to ask Guardian why he switched between P2K and the USB, because he switches between them quite often.
He does?
Yeah, yesterday he was using a P2K.
I have not observed this.
Oh, he's using USB now. I always remember him on a P2K.
Maybe he picked it up from someone, but I don't. Because remember, he started off the round, RPK was looking for him in the pistol, and then he popped in with one shot and then somebody else, and that was with a USB.
That's right.
So
let's see when he spawns. Going for it. He did. So what's he going to spawn with? He's going to spawn with a USP.
Yeah.
USP.
USPs.
So why is he? What is he? Who is he?
Only reason I switch is because of the sound. Sometimes I like the sound of the USP. Sometimes I like the clap of the P2K.
Pap, pap, pap. Sound of my PT-1000. Happy going in there with the flashbangs. Very nice work. And a very quick clean up. Oh!
They're going to win. They're going to land.
I told you, man. They beat Faze. The head-to-head is there. Just win all the matches. They're going to land. Scream wants the Nando's. He knows about the Nando's. We once had Scream in as an analyst during one day of ECS. We got him in on the Eurostar, although I accidentally booked him a train from Paris and forgot he lives in Belgium. So I think he had to go from Belgium to Paris and then come to London.
Oh my god!
And then we took him for lunch. We had the infamous wheel, the infamous wheel spin. If you search Scream FACEIT wheel, you can see him with the worst spin of all time. It was good fun though.
They have a Nando's in America. They have 2. But nowhere near here.
There's 2?
One
It
in New
exists
York
in
and
America?
one in Chicago.
Really?
Ooh, punishing the reloads. That's why you got to be really careful when you spray close to an area where you could be pushed, because if that reload is heard, people such as Nico are going to push you and shoot you in the face. So sometimes if a TE is spraying through the smoke at the beginning of mid, if you just spray the full clip, sometimes you might get a CT just poke in. Depends on what they have to lose as well. Anyway, the push is coming in towards the A site around the forklift. Jules will be won and lost. Nico blind gets a kill regardless, repositions. Karrigan on a high ground takes Happy out. I think he's the only silenced M4 player now on Faze. Karrigan, I think everybody else is with the M4A4. Obviously, Rain was one of the more infamous silenced M4 players, but even he has joined the dark side.
I wonder if they'll ever, if they'll mess with the balance again, because there was a point when they were
Balance of
the M4s, 2 M4s.
I think with how favourable most maps are to the T side, you could give a slightly faster rate to the silenced M4 once again. But it's a lot of AKs for both teams here. Karrigan wielding one of them, trying to reposition, trying to get out of mid while he can. Spots Kishima. He knows there are 2 in mid now, but how will he deal with it? Getting around the corner just in time. Meanwhile, Nico and Happy have been lost elsewhere.
Quite tough here for Faze to get back in, but ECS will defend against Scream, and that will open things up here for this retake. But good timing in from RPK to punish Exist. And now all the smokes are deployed. Rain has to be careful. Oh, very nice tapping from Rain. That's what he's about. And it's going to be successful for the first frag, at least as Guardian gets in position. Oh my god, over the top of the smoke finds Kiyashima. And now Hachi is alone, trying to reposition here towards main. This is very nice, trying to take off angles, trying to continue to be on the move and be unsuspecting. Oh, there it is, 1 frag. Isolating the 1v1s. That's what you have to do, but Rain too good. Again, Rain is awesome because like his shooting style is noticeably different to most players, and it reminds me a little bit of Rush because the way that Rain shoots allows him to be more mobile, which means that he can pick more scenarios he can control fights overall better. Because you pop out, take a couple bullets, and you stop. Gives you the option to burst again, as you can see, or maybe you want to reposition and fall back behind cover or reset the scenario.
Yeah, he never overpeaks or flicks too wide or has to fight against his movement when he's adjusting his aim.
And he's never in those, it's very rarely in those awkward, oh, I've missed the first like 5 bullets, I have to continue, I'm committed to keep spraying now. You don't really see that from Rain.
Kishima and Happy trying to put in some work here. Nico is on fire, and he was blind for half of that. So there is something out of this. Nobody in the B bomb site any longer, but of course the bomb is a problem for Envy. The AK looks juicy, looks inviting, like a blueberry muffin. But it seems Envy have allergies.
Except unless it's dry James, because dry muffins are the worst. Would you not agree?
Love some wet muffins.
Dry muffins leave one parched. Everybody wants to be parched. Potch. Another difficult round for Envy, pistols and such. Again, for those of you joining, Envy can qualify for LAN. It is possible. If they beat Faze and everyone else, they'll be tied with Faze on points and they will be above them because of the head-to-head. NIP have 1 game left though, and that is a question mark as to what impact that might have, but it is all to play for Envy. It would be one of the more absurd runs, I think, in League history. In Counter-Strike League history.
It would be Counter-Strike history.
It would be the darkest timeline. For FaZe Clan, at least. It all starts on cash.
Cash.
Cash. It's a very winnable situation. They've got the man advantage. Free reign of B main, and Rain is just playing it passively by himself, so he might allow a plant to go down. They don't they don't have a flash for the cross, so he might actually die if they deal with this properly. Never mind.
Rain. Again, he's bursting there. So many options to re-engage, to control everything. Eventually committed to the spray, but he got 2, which is pretty decent in that spot. He was very, very committed, very out in the open. And Guardian and Exist have a big weapon advantage as they move forwards for the retake. Only 1 flashbang though, somewhat annoying. The player on the bomb side, Happy, might be quite problematic with that MP9. We'll peek the further away player though, which does make things a bit easier, I think, for FaZe, and they'll control things in the end. 5 rounds for them now as Envyus will lose that one, but the bomb plant will be a boon to their economy and give them the ability to keep the pressure on, as their money is quite good.
Who have the forward spawns here for Envy? Because let's see, RPK and Haji. So with a spawn like this, if you're a sniper, you can run to peek mid and try to catch a CT moving towards the white box. If you have an AWP, it is a shot which can commonly land. But obviously, RPK, not the person we normally see with a sniper rifle. So we're not going to see that on this occasion. So Envy have their big buy now, and they've had some discussion as to what they want to do. 5 seats in London up for grabs. And a long day of Counter-Strike for Envy. Our second French team of the day. RPK, you can see he wanted to get the usual grenades, but just in case there is a push from the CTs, he will hold the phone for the time being.
Banana phone.
The smoke's from way far back, and Exist is going to have a lot of information on A main, but they've given up mid, so he's not in a safe spot.
Making it around the corner towards the catwalk just in time, and there is the flank from Paragon. Silence M4 will delay the identification of where he's coming from. 4 kills to the 1 of Envy, and there's the 5th one. Happy being exploderized by Nico. 6-3.
Olaf played A, right? When he was... Yeah. Because Exist also, that's exactly the same spot he always played with an IP as well. So there's a relative comfort for him to be in those spots. And I don't know, James, I'm not sure if I'm a believer in the...
Oh, in the Envy train.
Yes. I don't know if that train, I think it's running on Steam. It's a Steam train, James.
Maybe with everything else going wrong and being a general disaster for them, they can find some light at the end of the tunnel, some hope in a 2-0 here versus FaZe Clan.
They can all rally together in the thought of creating misery for everyone else.
Absolutely.
We're miserable, everyone else must be miserable, so we must combine forces and win these games.
Misery loves company.
If we're miserable, everyone must be miserable. The re-smoke for Carrigan. And FaZe going for an information play. That's really nice to go for that, but Exist will be caught out. Kirishima ready and waiting. And now the re-smoke there on main. So the 5v4 for Envyus with a minute to go. It's a pretty ideal spot for the T's. And I do wonder if they'll go for a delayed mid-take here. We'll have to see. It's like they may just go straight into the A sites. FaZe are being really chill considering that they're down a man.
Three smokes here for Envy. They better get deploying them. 2 Molotovs for FaZe though. Ooh, where did Kirishima come from? Carrigan now, there's a smoke around the forklift, there's a flank in the mid position, but Carrigan's good for it. Being good with the silence M4 so far here on Cash. But he can't get the kill on Scream. 16 seconds now, 4 versus 2. Surely FaZe can't go for this. What is a monetary situation for them? Guardian waiting for an opening. Okay, they can mostly buy. Definitely a save now, surely. Guardian may be hiding in plain sight, but I expect he will fall back. Indeed, he will. Envy on the road to victory, on the road to LAN, on the road to Nando's.
Man, I miss Nando's. Gotta say. Oh! Hello. Give me that Nando's. Give me that Nando's. Do you have a favorite, James? Favorite thing? There?
Chicken.
Peri Peri chicken.
The chicken.
Peri Peri chicken.
Funnily enough, once we were in a Nando's and we saw Phantom Lord.
Oh yeah.
And his girlfriends.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were there as
Wait,
guests at a G-Finity
lawsuit
event.
Phantom Lord or?
No, pre-lawsuit.
But he did contract some food poisoning, I believe.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So
it was me, you, Henry, chilling out, and it was like, okay, there are these people over here. It's like,
I wasn't into Nando's back then. I was like, it's overhyped.
The hype's calmed down.
he understands now.
No.
He understands what
I am the hype.
What Nando's is, what it means, what it represents. Delicious chicken with a side of peas. 1 minute 10. Envy look like they have intent towards mid. Bomb still in T-spawn for the moment, which is a pain on Cash. It's not like being in spawn in Mirage where you can pick it up on a rotation. It's just in the middle of nowhere.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, so the 44, 50 seconds to go. Nico's pushed the door. Nico is causing quite a problem. Things looking quite sore towards that A site. Guardian! Gonna get shot in the face. Screams like, give me that chicken! Okay, you'll keep moving into that B-bomb site. And Envy, you're in a really good spot now. 30 seconds left. Rain running around, trying to find a good angle. Just chilling out whilst his teammates make plays. Carrigan creates some distraction for Rain to get the double, but it will only be a single. Only a single. Nico. And that beautiful movement through the vents. Gets the drop on Kiyoshima. Keeps the UMP. Perfect moment to sneak up on RPK, but will RPK choose the right spot to peek? He will, but it doesn't matter because Nico gets it done with the UMP.
Just a god, isn't he?
How does Nico do things like that?
Just a god, especially on Cash. Where is the sniper rifle? There it is. Press E to collect. E, E.
E does not always work for you.
No. He often sucks.
I use T.
What do you have on E then?
Plus forward.
Oh, you ESDF?
Yeah.
What do you have on W?
I think, what do I have? I think, I don't have anything on W in CS.
I remember when this fan of Scream downloaded his config, and because he doesn't use QWERTY, he uses the, I don't know, some alternative version. So his WASD was something like QZSD, and this guy was trying to use it
oh my God,
on a QWERTY keyboard. It's like, yeah, I feel like my movement's better now.
It was because Scream's keyboard is French.
Yeah.
So
I think it's Azerty or something over there. That's not QWERTY, so yeah. That QZSD though. Do Envy push through the smoke? They do. They've got the numbers. The Guardian has position. Has some bait from his teammates as well.
Nice, Happy getting in there. Some good damage. Bit of burn damage on the handkerchief, nothing he can't handle. Although that's a bit too much for him. Nico looking to save the day once again. Amazing with every weapon. Oh, is he going to throw the HE? No. Can't quite find the angle he wants with that. So in the way. Good one though, onto RPK at the back of the site.
Shows why he was so keen to get the lineup. That was chunks. Man disadvantage now for FaZe. Don't know if they can really afford to lose everything in this round. Nico doing the best he can though. No opening for FaZe. They will make a slow exit from this area. Envy keep it close. Round number 5 for our underdog.
I was always kind of tempted to learn Dvorak, but I guess it was too much effort in the end. And because if I was like a typist, I would probably learn Dvorak. No, I think I would. It feels like my job was to type.
That's like the ideal keyboard.
Yeah, Dvorak is by far the most efficient way to type, because if I'm not mistaken, the way that the layout works, all the keys for like either hand are as close together as possible for like the most commonly used keys, and the least commonly used keys are in the furthest away places. So it's the most efficient. And also, if someone tries to use your PC, they're screwed. Especially if you remove, or if you have like the blank keycaps.
James does it on keyboards and stuff, so I feel like you could make a nice Dvorak keyboard.
It's the best security system ever. Dvorak and blank keycaps. No one's getting your password then.
Dang.
It's the mid boost here from Faze. And Rain with a good timing for the flank. Oh no! Oh god. Oh, wow. How does he not get a single kill there? That is unfortunate. But he does see everything before the execution happens. So this actually works out okay for Faze.
Or does it? A full rotation. RPK with the bomb. Bomb's been lost now, and now Envy are really fully committed. The bomb's fallen towards the forklift. They're using what grenades they have, but look at the CTs lining up. There is a molly onto Kiyashima. I don't know if he has position to molly this position. Oh dear. Kiyashima from he was in squeaky door as well. Perhaps the molly could have gone down, but with the up on the high ground towards Catwalk, it's hard for him to peek, but that was a disaster. The commitment of the bomb ruined the round there for Envy, and that kind of thing might stop them going to LAN after all.
Yeah, well, we missed some of the flashes and stuff that might have pushed them back. We didn't see that many, so I'm not sure, but the Faze setup got so strong at A after they rotated one into forklift, Nico in behind him, so they had a bait setup suddenly, and this is in the middle of an execute. Guardian gets the quad, and actually gets all the way to fence as well, so by the time they're actually out, they have like a brand new A setup, totally renewed.
Rain in position. He spent much time with that box. It's a familiar box. Do you have any thoughts on Dvorak, James?
No.
Excellent.
I'm ignorant to it.
Excellent. Envyus being very chill at the moment, so running a default and accounting for any aggressions, but their utility is very low, so whenever they start throwing stuff to gain position, they're going to get committed, and that's a good start for Faze after losing Guardian. That said, Happy finds a great timing onto Exist over the top. A very, very delayed mid-take from Happy, and he's going to go from strength to strength, upping the pace by himself, catches off Carrigan, leaving Faze with 2 now, as Envyus will make their way into that B site. And they are looking quite good. It's just Rain. The bomb is committed into the site, so they have no choice but to try to attack Rain together. But Rain can create 1v1s. Rain can clutch this. Some good additional damage. He's got to be fast with the headshots, but he can't get a single one. 4 from Happy. Happy still doing his thing.
Hashtag LAN.
He's been fragging all out. He's almost at 20.
Happy is being like consistently the best fragger probably with RPK, like by a long margin, I feel like. That's the strange thing with Happy. You kind of wonder what Happy would be like as just a secondary caller, just you know, someone that can focus more on just being a fragger, because he's an excellent fragger. Great AWPer, great rifler. Smart player as well, of course. Fast push into the B-bomb site. James, go!
What can Guardian get from this position? Has up his teammates, 3 of them coming from the mid area. The footsteps will be heard by RPK. The hose is out. That's Nico versus 2. Wouldn't want to bet against him. There is a pop flash, but do you even give him 1v1? Kiyashima has a look, sees nothing. Time to plant the bomb. There is a smoke for Kiyashima. They will hear Nico now, making his way in. So that's one channel taken care of. Do they double peek in this situation? Nico lining up for the 1 versus 1. If Hadji goes the headshot side. Oh! That was a close one. There is a Molotov for Nico as well. Knows he can't use it. Smart stuff. Oh! They made it as tight as possible. Nico got 1, but it's 8-7. A close half for FaZe and Envy. Damn, happy with the heavy lifting there.
He's definitely...
Yeah, a lot of those weren't eco kills either. They were, 4Ks on rifle rounds. Big plays.
Enormous. Enormous.
Huge.
grand. So pistol number 2. It's kind of like a pacing, like a trap song. Pistol number 2. See that weird trap music now in the background, and we've got a song.
Bobby Johnson.
I don't know what trap music is.
It's a trap, James. It's awful. Anyway, Exist will get the bomb down, and retake is the name of the game for Envyus. They have no retake smoke, but they do have a kid on Hadji. It's all going to fall to the headshots now. Where will the headshots go? Who do the Counter-Strike gods favor?
The flanker. That's who.
From the back.
The late flank, the late leg.
Uh-oh.
Oh, they're going to line up for Exist. 1. He can get a lot more here. The flash goes too deep, but Exist still can't get more. Guardian working his way around the side of the quad position. Nico, he's got to go for broke, but he will be the one who is broken.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Envyus pick up the defuse. Nice. But the bomb plant did go to Faze, so they can force by this round. They can keep the pressure on.
Is this the run?
I like the hype. I actually I wish this was like the last match that they had to play. So
That would have been epic.
yeah.
But it still is epic anyway.
It's one of 8, so whatever it is, 1 of 6. Is it 6?
It's like Lord of the Rings, they're on a journey. But maybe Faze is Smeagol.
So Envy's Frodo.
They want the ring for themselves. They want to marry themselves to the London final. Blocks. Not getting much done. The cavalry is en route, but they're not really considering Nico's position. That's going to cost them more damage. 3 kills in this round so far for Faze, and maybe there's more to be done. The bomb is down in the middle of mid, so the CTs can stay in this area, which means that Carrigan may not be able to pick up one of these weapons, but Scream's on 8 HP now. So, oh god. Hashtag not like this. Ironically, I think that grenade just launched a defuse kit far away from Envy, and neither of these players has a defuse kit, so imagine if that has a part to play in this as well. Kiyashima has the sound cues, taking an off angle towards the forklift position. Scream can bait as well. Does he choose to pick though, Kiyashima? He does, but now he's in the red as well. Oh god, it's painful to watch.
Oh my god.
This would be a shocking. This would just be a shocking 1 map. It's a good map for Faze. But these French teams on cash, man. What are you supposed to do?
They got AKs. It's crazy out there.
It's actually crazy. Boosted Shroud.
I miss Shroud and Counter-Strike.
Rowdy Shroudy.
I just love watching players who have mechanical skill like to that extent. It's pretty amazing.
Where is Kiyashima going? Towards the vents, perhaps? Oh no. Oh god,
man.
no.
Oh, this is a weird way to lose a round too.
Oh! Damage! Damage! All over the place. Exists. He's limping. He's in grave danger. He may make it to the end of the rounds.
Bomb has been planted.
If Hadji is unable to find him. Hello! Oh! Hadji! Can't find him.
Time to clutch. He's got a fake flash with the decoy. And no kit, so it doesn't look like he wants to go for this. The flank is here as well.
Maybe he could just imagine if he could just walk up to the roller shutters, just press E, and they just open. And no one ever knew all this time. Can you imagine that with like having a Counter-Strike? So I think there's a lot of discussion to be done around maps because there's lots of stuff that that's kind of cool that's not really gimmicky that you could do, like having certain areas of the map, for example, like open after a certain amount of time. So that'd be kind of cool.
That would be awesome.
Like super late rounds, like something opens. Obviously, it's not like you can't just put it in an existing map because that would just mess with a map. But if you designed the map around that kind of mechanic. Could be kind of cool.
Yeah, was it Moses tweeted about bomb sites changing as well?
Oh, what do you mean?
That you, instead of changing maps or adding new maps, you just changed bomb sites?
Oh, right.
Change the meta slightly.
I don't know how much that would change because I think a lot of, depending on the map, a lot of the bomb sites are kind of end game, not really mid round or the beginning, so you might need more.
There's other stuff like, you know, having. I mean, again, I don't know how, like, is it not Counter-Strike enough, or is it something that could aid gameplay and make an argument to go that way? But, you know, having, like, you know, objects on the map that you can, like a button that you can depress, which will open something for a teammate somewhere else, you know, things like this.
It would be cool to have, like, adopt a map from Doom or something. In the same style. Maybe without all the doors, but it would be fun. A throwback. Someone suggested a TF2 map yesterday.
Spray. That was fast. 7 players died in about 3 seconds.
I like that because together we used one word to commentate an entire round.
What was that? What?
Spray.
Ah, spray.
That was, that was it. That was the round.
10-9. Envy don't buy anything. Smoking a flash, actually. I always wonder about this because sometimes teams will use a smoke and they'll smoke the site they're on because that would make it seem like, oh, it's like the I by Power highway, actually. This is the highway stack. This one's really good. A lot of versatility in this. Don't get mollied out. Fast rotate in. Close to both sides.
I really want to show my eco smoke for main on a T side. I think it's cool.
But there's always that mind game of, if you have one smoke, do you smoke the site that you're stacking, or do you smoke the other site? So that you smoke the other site, that can be obvious that you're stacking. But if you smoke the site you're on, will that actually encourage a team to come back to you? Thinking emoji.
Yeah, that's part of the value in the smoke, such as one that I want to experiment with, is that you can use it to create evidence in one round and then contradicts that evidence in a future round to confuse your opponents. Envy on the buy once again. They need to keep it close if they want to make it to land. They must win every match. Nico, is he going to have a look? He's got the AWP. Ooh, okay. So the grenades and the combination.
Oh, a double peek there from Faze into the B bomb side. They have B just like that. That's pretty cool. And that can work really well from the timing, because again, if a team does put 3, say they like cheat the B player into mids, then you get this timing where you just have to take that one fight at early round, and you have the B bomb side. So it will be a 3v4 after plants, a doable situation for both teams. A lack of utility from Envyus, even though the round is quite early on, but running through the flames is Scream. Down to 14 health, will it work out? Trying to shoot over the flames, not going to work out for him in the end, as RPK makes a good go of it. And
wow.
That will be that.
Comms couldn't come in fast enough, and away they go. So we spoke about, you saw the peak from Nico at the beginning of the round. He went for a much deeper one, which might be part of the meta in current professional Counter-Strike, because obviously the players on the CT side know that the cross towards B, towards white box, sorry, is dangerous as well. But he got blasted into space. Massive second frag from RPK. You can see the delay in the reaction there. Still a buy for FaZe. Very key round now. Whoever wins this should have significant momentum in their favor, in the short term at the very least. Envy need momentum.
Oh my god.
Wow, he was very lucky.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they saw him. It was timed so well. Oh my god. Nico doesn't often lose that fight.
Perhaps it's it's always worth the spray, isn't it? When you're playing against Nico, because he's so often on the CT side too. Nico loves playing around the door. It's something of a specialty of his. And pop flash into A main. Really active play from Envyus. This is perfect. This is absolutely what you want to do. It's so okay for FaZe to have middle if they don't have A main. You know that they can't really split onto the A side. They could run up highway, but still, without A main and the split potential, it's more difficult to take the side. So now Envyus can sort of bank on the B play. They've got all the info with the push, the 5v4. Envy have set this up really well.
But the rotation with the flank from Scream, the rotation from A is coming in pretty slowly. RPK with a smoke trick to try and delay things, but they need the cavalry now. Flashbang's coming in over the top. We've got one player in CT for the T side, but not many Ts remaining. Just Carrigan now front of the site. Last to go down. 2 players picked off for FaZe, but that's just not going to be enough. No bomb plant either, and their money is somewhat broken. 11 apiece.
Damn, this game is not over, especially if they can pull off these B retakes over and over again. That's one of the hardest things you can do on this map in general. And they are melting terrorists.
Yeah, this was that was a really, really strong round from Envyus. They played that so smart, very intelligently. Rush into the B bomb site now for FaZe with pistols, and you can see that there's an anticipation for this with the positioning. Both players, instead of going to checkers or anything like that, in a possibility of getting caught out on a rush, instead they decide to go into the site, which keeps them safe from a rush, as they can take cover and slow things down and use their utility in this way. And it's much harder to swarm them without utility from the T side, and we can see that there is no utility for the T side, just a smoke for Rain to smoke. Presumably it would have been for the CT choke point, but they decided that it's not going to be all that good for them if they try to force the issue into B.
Yeah, they felt like their game was red, so they canceled. Move back to mid. I'm keen on finding out what they want to do. Oh my god. Good night, happy.
It's a good start. A lot more work to do though. Now they start to shuffle into that A site. Re-smoke there. Scream takes down one. They don't really have any Kevlar or helmets, so that makes life a lot easier. And it will be fairly clean when all said and done. 12-11, and Envyus are indeed looking very strong on this CT side. FaZe are going to have to work very hard to bring about a victory here.
That couldn't have been a better time flash from Scream. I mean, that's exactly what you want as you're flashing, they're jumping out. So they have to commit, and then they get separated. And Envy have a lead. This is crazy.
Is this the run? Oh, Kishima was close to the head. But Exist is not dead. Spots the second player towards B, and there's a response from Haji, but he gets traded by Guardian. Envy trying to stop themselves from being on the back foot, but they've got problems here. 2 of the 3 players towards the A site. Scream with control of mains, molotoving it for the time being. There's time though for FaZe, and they will keep Envy guessing. Minute 10 on the clock, could still go anywhere.
I feel like they're fighting against themselves by discouraging FaZe from taking A main control if they're going to stack, if they're going to leave B with RPK. Snag's going to come back, clear it. If they want to gamble, which is totally fine, maybe don't be so aggressive on the side of the map that you want them to come to, and then you feel a little bit more comfortable giving up B.
Very easy shot for Guardian. Can Envy hold hits somehow though? If they... It is Happy and RPK who are left. These are 2 of the heavy hitters for the team. RPK elevated position, Happy around the side. The spray might be good, but no. Won't be able to get the double, and RPK can't win his 1v1, so... Equalizer, 12-12. Money's starting to run low for Envy, but they still have enough to buy in this round. And Kiyoshima can buy an AWP. As can Scream, as can Haji. Oh, are they going to save? Oh, they're going to half buy. Very conservative, but maybe it'll work out for them.
3 smokes to the CT side. First one towards mid. Rain harassing with the 47. Huddle around main. Kishima getting into position for the flash. Is it round the O? Is it round the E? No, he's got it round the A. Oh, Nico though. Great timing for him. And the bomb starts to move towards B while he entertains the masses. He's on stage at Glastonbury. He's the last act. Faze start to ask questions. The glass open will allow the deployment of smokes and molotovs to stop any C2s hiding around default, for example. Kishima on the high ground will be forced away as well. Good use of utility for Faze, making it as safe as can be. So this looks like a eco round with limited success for Envy, and Faze look to take the lead once more.
I know it's just an eco round, but that was a little bit disjointed, the way that they tried to run in at separate times. You know, Happy uses his own flash, and he's the only one with a flash. And then his two teammates have to run through the CZs separate from him. When it could have been like, you know, his two teammates run in with his flash, and then he comes in right after. And they could have maximized that situation probably a little bit better. Could be more optimal when you can.
For those wondering about the if teams are tied on the same score, this season head-to-head has a higher priority to round difference, which is something the teams requested. So if Envy were to beat Faze 2-0 here, which they would need to be tied in the first place, then they would be above them in the leaderboard for that reason. So the score is not as relevant, only I guess if you went 1-for-1, but then if they went 1-for-1, they wouldn't make it to land. They must win it all. Talk about being on the back foot. Back against the wall, so on and so forth.
Foot on the foreman.
Foot on the foreman.
The foreman grill. Foot on the flames. Feet to the fire. George Foreman grill.
I know, but I mean, foreman is like a job, isn't it?
But I was trying to make it sound good.
So I thought you meant that someone had a foot on a foreman. No, in like, or whatever.
Construction?
Dan, help me out here.
I don't know what to do. Help. It's not coming, James. Gonna have to abandon ship. And speaking of which, Faze losing a man early does mean that they have to think about committing here somewhere, and Nico's going to make the play for the team. Oh! See ya! That's a brilliant opener from Nico. It's a 3v4 now, but that does create some space here. Oh my god! What? What is... Oh, hello! There's another one! This is very confusing, very odd. And now Faze will make their way quickly to B, but they have to hit the shots, but Kiyoshima ready and waiting with the Galil. It's a pretty weird looking Galil. Don't know why I said Galil.
That was an interesting round.
So which was better, the commentary or the round? Oh, wow, that's a fast one.
Just good timing. Shoot at the right time. This, though, that was quite something.
Nice.
13-13. Where the money at?
Where the cash at?
So we can see this is more or less a force buy from Faze. Oh, it's getting tense, isn't it? It's getting tense.
Man, it has been... I think it was 11-11, 12-12, and 13-13. Can we look at the scores in a row? Okay, I lied. But it was 11-11 and 13-13.
Even if Envy are successful against Faze, their two matches, they are playing G2 afterwards. But I'm happy to see that it's Inferno and Nuke versus G2. Because if it was Cash, there was this one very bizarre, infamous game of Cash where Envy may as well not have even connected to the server versus G2. G2 were on French team Cash Hype, and Envy were on just like Envy. I don't even know.
There's Envy. Is that
hole in the pipe hype. I don't know. They were just all over the place. All over the place. And I think that was something that was unique to France versus France, so I'm glad we don't see any Cash. Guardian will get the opening kill, entry fragging with the AWP. Scream trying to hold on to things here on A, but it seems they might be in a losing situation once again. Happy on fire. Doesn't mind being in a smoke. Karrigan with an open plant, but he is very exposed to CT. Adjusts accordingly, but he's on fire now.
Okay, looking to take down the guy on forklift first. That's the first step, but it's Guardian, and Duke can get the orb shot quite easily, and it's going to be a save for Envyus. Faze moving to 14.
Guardian is proving to be one of the biggest problems in Counter-Strike at the moment.
He's insane. I mean, it goes without saying, but he is like, I think his one thing, it's like hard to define. It's important, I think, to define what's the reason you want this opera over the other opera. I think the scariest thing about Guardian is just like, when he knows where you are, it is very hard to escape. He'll like force you to commit to a duel with a rifle, and
he does not miss.
He's not afraid to take his angles.
He does not overextend. He is an absolute beast.
You cannot escape Guardian.
I need to watch some Guardian demos.
He's always that guy that's like, you take the smallest risk and then he makes you regret it extremely hard.
Yeah. I always learn something about positioning with a sniper rifle when I watch his demos, but I don't watch his demos nearly enough.
It's the contact into B from Faze. Oh, that's very ideal.
That's a lot of contact there.
Yes, that is, like, getting the instant kill is so nice.
That's full contact. It's like UFC before regulation.
That's, like, Envy are in a spot where they just have to save now. Like, if you lose the site that quickly.
And they didn't test B main, and they only had one person on the site. He was so far back in the site that this can happen. Like 500 HP plant.
Yeah, it's one of those spots where it's like a banana on Inferno. If someone like runs up banana and just one taps the guy there, and then the second guy, it's just the round's over because there's so much post plant utility as well, which is something to consider.
Yeah, the difference is like you don't need like 3 mollies, 2 flashes, and a smoke for B-man on cache like you would on Inferno. So it's really dangerous to just put them back in the site. You just need the smoke, the cross smoke. Have them mess around in checkers for a second. Start the round off with a teammate, maybe. Think about vent control, if not mid. And then, you know, loosen up when you know they're not rushing B.
And it seems, James, like your train is about to be derailed. The rails have run out.
There's a penny on the tracks.
There's no more rails.
Not yet.
It's just a chasm.
Not yet. There is still time. There is still time for the train to arrive at the station. But it won't be the easy way. But when has it been for Envy? Since the CZ era.
That was a different, very different roster too, to be fair.
That's true.
This is strange. It's been a long fall for Envy. Major champion, Envy. Sucks.
It's weird with all the roster changes in esports versus traditional sports and just things like that, and the heritage of a team or a brand. Because let's say they won the major, and they put the star on the jersey, and this team rocked that jersey star. I don't know, but I told you that it's not over yet.
Nico, Guardian still left alive. Guardian will whip the shot, but Nico will not trace him for the next player into the crosshairs of Kiyashima, though, as Guardian goes to 1v4. Stuck in the smoke, his barrel peeking out the smoke, I imagine, and that's an easy kill. So it is overtime on the cards. The money's still there for FaZe, so Envyus are going to have to earn it. They're going to have to earn it.
One hell of a 3K from your boy, Scream.
Indeed, very nice on the boost there of the jump spot position where you can sort of slide up the slanted wooden panel to get info. Or you can get a boost there and kill everyone. There's some really nice boosts around that red container, and Nico back into his usual tricks here, going to the squeaky position, looking to get something done. He can get information, hear people running around, he can harass if he wants to. And he's going to open the door and just take down Haji, and That's a huge frag. It's 120 on the clock and it's a 5v4. And Faze setting up for the mid take, which is very strong once you get the advantage on men, but Happy still out there with the orb. That's beautiful anticipation from Happy that they would move towards the boost at this point in the round. Oh, how on earth the Scream managed that?
Beautiful. Opens the door to time a flashbang from his teammate. Don't even think it flashed Nico, but Scream was ready for it. Politely closes the door and stays in Squeaky. But again, it's there's little information now. This might be a clue to reposition. Is there a Molotov for Karrigan as well? There isn't. There is one on Rain, but he is not in position to throw it towards B. 34 seconds on the clock. A third man not quite going to be just yet. Envy are so devoid of information. And there is still time for a rotation, technically speaking. Now, how does RPK get help from his teammates? Does he need it? He does. Money towards headshot. Kishima will try to use it. Only good for the one kill, though. And now it's Karrigan alone with bomb plant pressure, trying to do what he can. Do they push it? Yes, Happy going for it. He comes off it. I don't think he meant to do that, but it is overtime. They're still in it. There is still a chance for land for Envy.
It's really smart for Happy to just run in there because there's a lot of decisions he could take there. He could have just, it's like, oh, is he going to fake it? You know, but he realized with time that Karrigan's going to understand that he just has to go for the immediate plant. It's like, and Karrigan has to gamble that he doesn't get peeked there because that's the only way he can win the round is to get the bomb down.
Yeah, it's a huge read. I mean, he could have put his teammate in a 1v1 if Karrigan got off the bomb and stood there for a second, waited headshot.
Exactly,
but
yeah.
But Happy just called him out. Karrigan's like, he's going to give me the space. So just hard read him, like a short novel.
Hanji, this is very expected around this smoke. He's trying to play it in the safest way possible, turns around as his teammate goes for the flash, and that is a beautiful second frag. As Haji continues fragging on this exit. Somehow, Nico gets a double in the midst of that, and it's a 2v1 for Envyus. So, Exist going for the clutch. So many overtimes the last couple of days.
All the overtimes. No smoke for Exist. Can they identify roughly where he might be based on that flashbang? A slow approach from Envy. They have everything to lose. Grenade starts to stream in. They don't have a kit. This is so slow from them. They don't have a defuse kit. They are taking way too long. Okay, there is a kit on the site, but they, I mean, oh my god.
Oh no. Exist has owned it. Completely owned it.
Considering they only had the one person to deal with, they didn't really have reason to wait for so long to get started. They weren't that far away either, so yeah, they really probably should just thrown their smokes and then just got to move on.
Very nice indeed. Beep, 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 beep. See you later. I'm gonna push this.
Get right's mid play. Oh yeah. Oh.
Oh dear, that's unlike RPK.
Happy. They're never gonna. Never mind. I was gonna say, how do you expect Happy to be there after Karrigan just pushes mid like that? Nuts, craziness, and Faze will make the round look incredibly easy here. Oh, James, your train is once again in dire need of assistance to get to the finish point.
There's still some coal to be put in the fire. I wonder if there is like merit in a quad retake smoke. Depending on the situation, obviously, forklift is a most fun spot, but like a learning one as an alternative.
You mean like quad to smoke? Wait, what do you mean quad to smoke man?
Like a smoking quad, you know, like when a T is in Squeaky and they smoke off quad.
Yeah.
If there is merit to having a smoke like that as a CT on a retake. Although, part of the issue is getting to the site in the first place, but in terms of trying to defuse the bomb at least, I don't know. Probably not. I think it'd be very, very, very situational. Very niche smoke.
I think you can do anything like that. You just have to design your strat around it, how you're going to approach the site.
Well, Envy have very little to fight with in this round due to the shortcomings of the 2 rounds prior. Maybe a 0-3 is likely. Faze looking for match point.
Wow. Hachi's really trying his best. It's a very nice double with the FAMAS. Very unexpected, honestly. And Faze, I mean, they still got 2 players left to work with, but Envyus do have somewhat of an advantage. Nico, though, forcing his way out. That is a very clean second kill onto RPK. RPK has not been having a great time in the overtime so far. Is Kiyoshima now with a CZ of all things, trying to make it work for Envyus. Kiyoshima will go down, headshot from Rain, and now all that FaZe need is 1 round of 3 on the CT side.
Nico's so good.
He had 30 kills in regulation.
He is so good.
He good.
That is
Très bien.
the death knell for LAN, as far as Envy are concerned. But even if they are to capitulate here, there are other goals for them to achieve in the remainder of today's matches. Back with money again, back with the 5 AKs against 2 sniper rifles now. Nico joining the fray. Money towards event position. A 1-2-2 set up from FaZe at the beginning. Guardians very much on fire. There are ways to deploy a smoke grenade there to look over it, as Ricky used to do. But that wasn't quite it for Mr. Guardian.
Scream entries quickly, and they want to try to go for that fast split onto the A site. Nico there around the smoke. That's the bomb. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh man, it just gets worse, doesn't it? That's a beautiful headshot from Guardian. Now Hachi's stuck, and oh man, Nico and Guardian just ending things. 4K for Nico at the end for the 39 kills on the scoreboard. Beautiful display from him as FaZe. Well, they were challenged by Envyus, but in the overtime, they showed who the boss man is.
Envy looked really good for most of that game, up until the end. Individual plays might have been a bit too strong. Nico getting 9 kills in 4 rounds at OT. And that really just puts the last nail in the coffin.
At least for LAN. There are more nails and more coffins for Envy to try and avoid in terms of the relegation fight now. But they will not be making it to London. There will be no Nando's.
Well,
not for this team, not for this season.
Maybe for Kiyoshima, because he's in the UK, so...
Oh yeah, I mean, he's got Nando's on tap.
He's got Nando's for days. So guys looking for Nando's.
He's got Nando's on tap, liquid Nando's.
Send it in the post to his teammates.
And there we go. Great play. That was a nice exhibition from Nico. Saw great displays of aim from him, and we will soon see... Oh, look at all that damage.
Oh,
Don't. Whoa. Well, he had quite the game, and I'm sure we could look at the updated leaderboard and see what it means for FaZe, where their current standings are. Again, that's another game of 0 points for Envy. We'll come to them in a second. So FaZe now on 30 points, along with G2, along with Fnatic, and I think that does it for the top of the table. NIP are unable to catch up. Virtus Pro unable to catch up. Envy, that was their one chance to make it, but they can't do it now. So looks like our LAN confirmed teams are Astralis, G2, FaZe, and Fnatic. Envy now fighting to avoid relegation, still only with 3 victories and 10 losses so far here on ECS. They'll be playing FaZe once again. It's going to be Inferno after the break. Can they, well, take one step towards getting off the bottom of the leaderboard? It's going to take a few games. We'll find out after the break.